I'm gonna teach y'all how to get jacked. And you know, all these people are like, oh, you need a gym. You need a gym. If you don't have a gym, you can't get muscle and all this other crap. Not true. I'm gonna show you what I'm working with first. So there's me, that sexy man. Then we have me as a wee lad. Look at that jaw. That jaw mogs most men. The dimples too. Tell me most of those. Okay, anyways. Live commentary, by the way. So parallel bars. Look at those. Garanda dips with those. Adjustable weight bench. A bar. If you're going to only get one barbell, get an easy bar. Weight dip belt. Weight dip belt or weight belt. Whatever the hell you want to call it. My ankle weights. I don't know why I'm showing all this. I don't use most of that stuff. Ankle weights. And some push-up bars with that. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see it. It's too dark. But I have push-up bars and some weightlifting gloves, my guitar, my clothing, and my amazing hats. 2, because one's going to be for my future girlfriend. Take a picture of her with the hat, and that's going to be an amazing thing. Anyways, so we're going to move on to the slideshow presentation where I actually teach you how to do it. So this is where I started with that. I've only been working out for about a year and a half at this point. So this is my starting point. As you can see, a little fat bastard. Then me now. And this is no pump, flexed, and just using this light. So if I use better lighting, I'll probably look better. I don't know. Who cares? You clicked on the video anyways. It's good enough. So this is the beginning. 7-4-22. All right. So didn't work out, obviously. I was a fat bastard. Had good potential, though, because as you see, my shoulders are still wider than my waist, and I was fat. Like, I was actually pretty fat. And shoulders are still wider than the waist. So that's to just give you an idea of where I was starting from. So I began training, and this is where I start teaching you stuff, right? I had no gym. And as far as what you need, like everything I have here is what you need, plus I would recommend getting a pull-up bar. I'm not really in a position to get one, but if you can, get one. And when I say that, I just mean that because like a power rack, or I have to get like something I can wall mount. I got one of those door things, but my doors aren't strong enough to use them. Anyways, 40-pound barbell is what I started with, and then plus a 25-pound plate. And I was doing like bicep curls with it. I remember that. Then I went to a 110 barbell, and now I have a 160 barbell, and it's an easy bar, as you saw. Got ankle weights; those are important for leg raises. Got those a week ago. Got a weight bench a few months ago. Parallel bars and a weight belt like 8+ months ago. No pull-up bar and no dumbbells, but I use plates as dumbbells. Just, you know, put your hands in the hole, wrap it around, and lift. What do you think I'm talking about? Get your mind out of the gutter. And at the start, for the first few months, I trained like a retard. I was doing splits. Well, I did splits for a very long time, actually. But at the start, I was doing really dumb splits. I'll talk more about splits later. I wasn't doing triceps. So, how I do long head, you're supposed to stretch the long head of the tricep. I never did that for the first few months. Zero tricep work. If you look at some of my progress photos, it's on my old channel. But like I would flex my bicep, and there would literally be no sweep. Like the tricep would be like that, instead of having a little sweep. It's just like that, flat. I was a volume seller. I just did volume, and I'm gonna talk more about that later. And also, I didn't train abs, which I'm gonna talk more about later as well. So this is everything I just went over is a pretext. So we start going over the actual rules you can apply. So rule number 1. And I'm pretty sure this is the only rule I wrote down because I don't know. I don't care. Train. That's the number 1 rule. Train. Okay. Even if you train like a complete retard, even if you train like an idiot, it's still better than nothing. So don't be one of these people like, well, I don't know if I have the genetics. I can't really get all the protein in today, and any of these stupid things. So I'm not gonna train, bro. I don't care if you're in the middle of the desert with just a little bit of water. If you need to work out, you can get it done. Yeah, I don't know if working out in the middle of the desert is a very good idea because it could be wasting energy, but like. The point is, you can work out in the middle of the desert if you wanted to. Do some push-ups, do some squats. Once you get good at those, one-arm push-ups, pistol squats. Okay, there's no excuse not to train. Don't be one of these retards. So no gym is actually better. Now a lot of people are like, wait, what? And it's true, in some regards having a gym is better, but you become more creative when you don't have a gym, and you actually learn about different exercises. Because what happens to most people who go to the gym, and I've been to the gym like 4 or 5 times in my life, 6, 7, something like that. Very, very few times. And a lot of those times came before I even knew how to work out. What you do when you get into the gym is you find some machine. This is what most people do. You get into the gym, you find some machine that works, some body part you want to build, then you just do it. You don't really think about whether the exercise is good or any of these different things, right? Most people who just gym go are stupid. When you don't have a gym, you're forced to be smarter. You're forced to be creative. Now, if you then get a gym later, it's going to help a lot. But as of now, don't look at having no gym as a disadvantage. You're forced to become creative. An example would be Garanda dips. If you want to work chest, most people who go to the gym would just find those machines, you get a bench, they'll do any of these other things. But in most gyms, you can't even do a Garanda dip, it's like a chest dip, but it's at a very extreme angle. That's how I'll say it, and I don't care. And that is a very good chest exercise. I've tried the machines, I've tried the bench press. Garanda dip's the best one. As far as, getting the overall pec. For upper pec, I would say incline bench. But yeah, the Garanda dip. If I didn't have a gym, I wouldn't have figured that out. And the same thing goes like barbell hack squats. I really like those. I think those are good. I've done front squats, I've done back squats, but hack squats are really good. It's up there. If I had a gym, I wouldn't have done hack squats with the barbell. Most people don't even know you can do hack squats with a barbell. I wouldn't be doing all these bicep curl variations, etc. Or tried all the bicep curl variations. The list goes on. When you don't have a gym, you're forced to get creative, which leads to solutions they wouldn't have otherwise found if you went to the gym. So now we're talking about splits. I'm about to get a lot of people mad here. Splits are for memes. I did splits for so long. I switched to full body, and my progress skyrocketed. And truthfully, splits really only became a thing when steroids became a thing. Before steroids, everyone just did full body. And you look at the people in the Silver era who did full body. Their results were great. Now, it's not to say if you do splits, you're not going to get gains. Obviously, you can get gains with any type of split. You can get gains with a bro split. But what you have to understand about, if you're growing muscle, specifically, if you're doing powerlifting, then maybe doing some kind of split or some kind of more frequent training is better. But as far as just muscle building, right? Your muscles grow when you rest. Your muscles don't grow when you lift. So you should be prioritizing rest. Get the stimulus in. Get very good stimulus in. I'm not one of these people who just says train like a wuss, right? But get very good stimulus in and then rest. That's the magic formula. Don't be one of these people who just do the split because you hear a bunch of other people talk about it, okay? I really do think the strategy where you rest more is much better. You gain much more muscle. I've tried it. Don't make the same mistakes as me, trying all these different splits, all these retarded splits. Do full body. And full body, which we're going to talk more about this later. Full body is really good for targeting weak muscle groups. I think it's far better than PPL or any of the other meme splits for targeting weak spots, which is, again, if you're trying to build a good physique, that's really what you're trying to do. All right, so now this made a huge difference. This and full body splits, amazing. So I used to be a volume cell. Like I used to force a bunch of sets. So like 3 to 6 sets, 12 reps, and like let's say the first 2 sets I would get done like 12 and 8. I would then I would decrease the weight so I could stay in the rep range and do another like 2 sets. That was really dumb. And that's what everyone told me to do. From what I saw, that's what you're supposed to do. But no. Okay, that's not what works, at least for me. My new rep scheme is 1 to 3 sets, and the very simple way of me explaining this would be something like, I do like 2 sets, let's say, of an exercise, and I pick a weight to where I'm probably doing like 1 to 5 reps, and it's very difficult to like explain it because it's really like off of feel. But basically, if I get to the point where I could do like 6 reps, I just increase the weight. And usually when I only do 1 to 5 reps, I can only do like 2 sets. I can't get a third in, right? So instead of, because the thing is, like I said, what most people do is they force sets. So they get done with the 2 sets, and then they lower the weights so I can do the third one. That's stupid. All right, and I watched a video from Natural Hypertrophy and said basically, well, it kind of doesn't make sense, right? Why force the set? Why? I mean, if you can't lift the weight anymore, then you've already fatigued the muscle adequately. And I thought about it, I was like, you know what, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, actually. It's pretty dumb to do that. So I stopped. And I focused more on intensity. And I will put it like that. Think of like HIIT training, like high intensity training, but don't go all the way with it. Because don't be one of these people who only do 1 set. Because that's a very good way of plateauing. You need to be in the state where you can do like 1 to 2 sets. If you can only do 1 set of a certain weight, then you should probably, try and get another one in. Wait, like rest and then do another set. Because when you're doing only 1 set, I feel like it's very much easier to plateau. Yeah, and it's very hard to exactly pinpoint like what exactly it is because, again, it's a lot based on feel. But in general, I'm not doing like, very rarely do I do 3 sets of an exercise. I'll put it like that. Very rarely, I do very high intensity. Rarely do I do 3 sets. Because usually I increase the weight before it's even time where I can do 3 sets. And this made a huge difference, especially my arms. My arms used to be puny. If you look at my old channel, you see my arms. My arms were puny. Now they're much bigger. Still not as big as they could be, as they should be, relative to the rest of my physique, but it's gotten up a lot since I first started. So, here's some memes you can't fall for, okay? Abs. Train your abs, okay? Don't listen to these people who say abs are made in the kitchen. That's one of the dumbest things ever. Now, it's true. Okay, being lean helps a lot when it comes to seeing your abs. And don't be an ab cell, okay? And I'm probably like a few weeks out from abs because I've been losing a lot of body fat rapidly while still getting stronger because of the diet scheme I'm going to tell you about later. But I'll go more into abs in another video. Once I have them, then I can put in the front thumbnail and I'll get more views and whatever because that's how it works. But abs are not made in the kitchen, okay? It helps. Getting leaner helps a lot. I'm not saying you shouldn't get lean. I'm not saying any of that stuff. But you need to train your abs, okay? Because you're going to be one of these people who have a really soft-looking midsection, even when they're at a relatively lean body fat percentage. And of course, like I said, don't be an ab cell. Don't be one of those people who just train for abs, okay? Because that's going to significantly hinder the rest of your progress. All right, but train your abs. If you care about your midsection at all, train your abs. All right, and do upper and lower training, like hollow body crunches, hollow body leg raises. Those are the best. If you want to progress on it, put some ankle weights on. If it fits your macro, this is another meme. All right, don't follow this diet scheme, okay? Like, can you get a good physique with if it fits your macros? Maybe. Maybe. I think there's a lot of people who get to have trash physiques because they follow that scheme. But in terms of health, I think it goes without saying if it fits your macros is dumb. All right. You are what you eat. If you're eating a bunch of crap, you're going to feel like crap. And most likely, you're also going to look like crap. Okay? Eat a healthy diet. Like, I feel like that goes without saying. Now, Reuters. Don't listen to Reuters. So this means 99% of fitness advice you see on the internet is out of question. Because most people are Reuters. Even the people who claim natural, most of them are Reuters. Okay? Reuters live in a completely different world than you. And this is why a lot of people fall for stupid fitness advice. Because they follow the advice of some Reuter, but they don't realize that they live in a different world than this Reuter. So they do the same thing, but they don't get the same results. Because they don't have the hormonal assistance. Don't follow Reuters' advice. Okay? In general. Maybe you can, pick up a thing or two from them, but they shouldn't be your main source of information. Your main source of information should, 1, be from yourself and your own experience. 2 should be from naturals. Okay? Reuters comes at the very end. Programs. Don't fall for these memes who say, if you follow my specific program with my specific order of exercises, then you're going to get jacked. All right, truthfully, again, the number 1 rule is training. Now, I did say full body is the best, and it is the best. But if you do a PPL and you actually train and do a good job, you're gonna have a good physique. So don't think like, well, oh my god, if I change the exercise I do and I change my program, then I'm gonna get so much more gains. Okay? Now I could easily sell this full body and intensity thing and say, hey, this is gonna make you so much bigger and so much stronger or whatever. Try different programs, see what works. Okay, don't fall for getting stuck into one, because that's what happened to me. I fell too much into one split and I was like, wow, the split's so amazing, I'm not gonna try another one. And it wasn't even that good. Try different splits, see what works for you. Bulking and cutting. So I'm talking more about this in the next slide, I think. Bulking and cutting is a meme. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by bulking and cutting here. So, as far as what I did, let me move this. As far as what I did, I cut for most of my lifting career, which is really dumb. But I never really ate like a pig. I've always eaten a good diet. So anyways, so this is my definitions of cutting and bulking, okay? Cutting is a deficit over 300 calories. Now, you only cut when you're really fat. You only cut when you're fat. That's it. You don't cut when you're skinny fat. You don't cut when you're, kind of lean. You don't cut, obviously, when you're already super lean. You only cut when you're fat. Now, bulking. You only bulk when you're really lean. Like shredded abs type of lean. That's the only time you bulk. Okay? The rest of the time, you're recomping. This advice would have changed my lifting career, okay? Because I was cutting most of the time, and I was either cutting or bulking for most of the first year. Cutting or bulking. When I was cutting, I barely gained any mass, because I got my newbie gains, but I still barely gained any mass. And I didn't even get that much more lean, because I wasn't gaining the muscle mass. There was no point for me to cut. I would have been better off recomping. Bulking. When I bulked, I just got more fat. And I didn't gain much more muscle. I didn't gain muscle I wouldn't have gained if I was just recomped. Waste of time. Both times. Alright, and that's what it is. Cutting and bulking is a waste of time, because most people, they bulk up to a really high body fat percentage, like bear mode, like I'm bear, and then they cut. If they just recomp the whole time, they wouldn't have needed to bulk up and then cut. And then, of course, it messes with your metabolism. You look like trash for a whole entire season. You look like a fat pig. So, if it's something like, bulking doesn't mean you get fat. Okay, just recomp that. Who cares? All right? Anyways. So, recomp. We have to realize this, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand this, but your body fat is energy. Okay? Now, what are calories? Calories are energy. So, if you already have a lot of fat on you, if you already have a decent amount of fat, and when I say a lot, I don't mean like obese type of fat. I mean, like you can get your stomach and you grab like a handful. Right? You can grab it, you can pinch it. Like you have a good amount of fat on you, all right? And that's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean like you're a fat person, right? It's good to have a little body fat on you. But if you're in a stage where you're trying to get a better physique, right? And you have that, little fat on you, realize that's energy. So you don't need the extra calories. Your body already has energy attached to it. The whole point of your body fat is to be used as energy. That's why your body stores it. Okay? Once you understand that, everything changes. You realize, well, yeah, I mean, if I already have some fat on me, why should I bulk? I'm just adding extra calories that I don't need. It just makes sense. Right? That is so simple. Okay? Now, as far as recomping is a range, right? You can either eat directly at maintenance, or you can cut a little bit, or you can bulk a little bit. Right? Recomping is a range. So I think like they call it main gaining or whatever, but this is my definition. I'm making it very clear what I mean here. If you have a slightly higher body fat percentage, right, and then not fat, because again, like people conflate like fat. Like even if you can't see your abs, you can still not be fat. Right? You can still be pretty lean. But anyways, all right. If you want to get a little bit leaner, okay, then just eat a slight deficit. Just eat a little less. If you want to gain some weight, eat a little bit more. That's it. Fall into the range. Now, don't go out and start bulking. Don't go out and start cutting. Unless you're in the exceptions, which I put in here. Okay? So, Yes, recomp. Okay, that's number one way of going about it. I weigh about the same amount as in the first picture. You already saw my progress pictures. I weigh about the same in the first one as the second one. All right. Fasting. So, if you're cutting or recomping, you should fast. Now, if you're bulking and you're already low body fat and you just want to gain some muscle, excuse me, you just want to gain some muscle, all you got to do is eat like 4 times a day. And spread it out throughout the day. That's what I would do if I was bulking. But for now, I'm recomping, so I fast 18 to 21 hours a day. And it's very, very good for you. Okay, there's a lot of reasons to fast. Productivity, energy, all this other stuff. But as far as your diet goes and building muscle, this is really the way to recomp/cut. It makes it so easy. So easy. You don't even have to think about it. Because a lot of people see they're cutting or whatever, and they're like, oh, I'm so hungry. I need food. Listen, I'm somebody that's naturally heavier set, okay? Once I got used to fasting, give it like a week, because the first weeks I'm like, oh, I'm so hungry. But after like a week, you're going to get used to it, because your body is going to now understand, oh yeah, I have this body fat here, and the whole point of the body fat is to use as energy. So I'm going to use it while, there's no food in my system. Do that, and then it's going to be so easy to not overeat. Okay? Now, low carb. So if I was bulking, I would eat a bit more carbs, but you have to use carbs as a tool. Okay, carbs are a tool. If you're about to work out or you just finished working out, get some fast digesting carbs in you. And also eat some slower digesting carbs. Aside from that, and strategically spiking your insulin, because you don't want to spike your insulin too much, because then you become insulin resistant. Get insulin resistance, yeah. And then your insulin doesn't work that well. And insulin is important in general, because insulin resistance leads to diabetes. But as far as our case goes, we want to get muscle, right? Insulin is anabolic. Okay, so you do want some insulin, but you don't want too much, because then you become insulin resistant. So if you're younger, you can, when you're bulking, keep in mind, if you're bulking, and you should preferably be younger, because you can handle more insulin spikes. Once you get older, not so much, but I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably like my age, 17 or something like that. Fasting also lowers your insulin, which makes you more sensitive to insulin, which gives you better results. But yeah, when you eat carbs, think about it. Okay, I'm spiking my insulin right now for an anabolic response, or I'm getting glycogen into my muscle so I can use it for when I work out or after my workout so they can repair. That's how you treat carbs. Okay, carbs aren't your normal food source. Your real sources of sustenance should be protein and fat. And for me specifically, this is basically all I eat: meat, eggs, raw milk. Yeah, I eat a little bread sometimes, like a little pastry. Like there's ice cream in the fridge, I'll eat a little bit sometimes. That basically falls into like some fruits, avocado. But this is like the foundation of the diet: raw milk, eggs, meat, grass-fed meat, pasture-raised eggs, raw milk. That's basically all protein and fat. That should be your foundation. Now, counting. So I'm talking about counting calories. All right. I don't count calories, and you don't need to if you know what you're doing. If you're at the very start, and this is what I did at the start, but I already have a background in cooking. I already know how to cook. Although I'm not going to cook in my relationship because that's a woman's job, but I know how to cook. I know how to make a bunch of different dishes, and I know how restaurants cook. So I'm able to guess pretty well what the calories are, and I kind of already understand my maintenance level. And I eat basically the same thing every day, so it's very easy for me not to count. I would recommend for a few weeks, just count your calories, and don't fall for, because to me this is obvious, but a lot of people fall for the thing where it's like, well, this ribeye I got from the restaurant, MyFitnessPal says $250, so it's only $250. No, they use butter, they use oil, and all those other things. Assuming you don't fall for things like that, counting's not that difficult. Just count a little bit. Then once you get used to it, especially if you eat the same thing every day, you'll kind of know how much you should be eating, and then you don't need to count anymore. That's the way I would put it. So counting, you should know about how much you're eating. I don't think I can actually say how many calories I eat a day. Although I could probably estimate it if I thought about it a little bit. But all I know is I'm getting good results. And that's really what you should be focusing on. Don't focus on your weight. Focus on your results, which can be through the mirror and measurements, which we're going to talk a bit more. Maybe the next slide. Is that the next slide? Oh, yeah. So the slide after this will talk about measurements. But muscle group priorities is what I was talking about earlier. Depends on current physique. So the muscle groups you primarily work on, the muscle groups you focus on, depends on your current physique. Don't be one of these mean, because what a lot of people say is like, well, your most important muscle groups are, your lats and your shoulders and all that. And that's true from the aesthetic perspective, but you need to have a balanced physique, right? So a lot of people hear that and then they just train those and have like lacking arms and lacking legs, like lacking neck, all those other muscle groups, right? You need to have a standard for, okay, this is the physique I want, and this is the aesthetic I'm going for. And then you compare yourself to that aesthetic, like, okay, well, my chest is looking pretty good right now, but my arms are lacking, so let me train my arms a bit more, chest a little bit less, right? So this is my physique standard here, right? Steve Reeves. I think this is best physique all time. Before me. Before future me. Before that would cause a hellstorm. Actually, no, yeah, me right now, I'm better than Steve Reeves. Of course I am. Anyways, I'm better at everything. So what you do is you get measurements. So Molly be like, "No, this is autistic." Shut your mouth. So basically, you use Steve Reeves is a very simple one to do because there's already Bro, I have nowhere to put myself. All right, we're just gonna put it here for now. Damn it, there's literally nowhere. Okay, there. Okay, right. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we have these muscle groups. Okay, now this is the ideal standard I'm going for. Damn it. You can look at my amazing physique there, right there. So these are the ideals. This is the Steve Reeves calculator. This is based on your wrist size, your head size, and your knee size. And based on that, you get certain muscle measurements. So to measure your muscles, you just put a tape measure around it. So this is the ideal based on my bones. So this is my end goal. Now, I take Steve Reeves' 1947 measurements, and I do some math, like percentages and all this other crap, right? To figure out, okay, this is Steve Reeves' physique, this is the ideal, and this is me. So think about this as like a midway point, and this is like the end goal. So this is the first standard I judge myself to, and then once I hit this standard, I start judging myself by this standard, right? So what you do is you simple measure. So neck, okay, you just put a tape measure around your neck. Mine's 16.25. This is actually better than, relatively speaking, obviously. Reeves 47 was probably had like 17.8 inch neck. It's adjusted percentages. You know what I mean, right? You're smart. So what does this mean for neck? Okay, well, I don't really train neck anymore. Once I fulfill the standard, then I'll start training again because I have to get it up to 18. See what's going on? So chest, 41.25. That's about the same as here. Okay, well, I should prioritize chest a little bit less. I'm already there. But once I fulfill these measurements, okay, well, if they get the chest up, then you get what I mean. The waist. Waist is good. Arms. Oh, my arms are lacking. Okay. So since I do full body, this is what I do. The first two muscle groups I hit are my legs and my arms. Okay? Because these are my lacking groups. Once I get up to 16 and once I get up to 24 in legs, then I could change and actually go for something else just go for whatever's lacking. Okay? Now, you don't necessarily need to measure. You can eyeball it. So let's say you want a physique like, I don't know, what's a popular physique people like? Don't do Reuters, okay? Because Reuters, again, they live in a different world than you. If you're trying to chase a standard that a Reuters set, you're not going to hit it. Plus, most Reuters don't even look that good. I don't know, let's say, just that one. You can pick cartoon characters too, by the way, obviously adjusted for reality, but you can still go for the same type of aesthetic as them. Let's say, I don't know, what's that? I'm going to get a picture of it. I'm going to Google a picture and I'm going to show you. All right, here, Baki. I think this is a popular one. So if you look here, and this is what I would do if I were you. I would look at your goal physique, find a goal physique, and then look at it relative to Steve Reeves' physique. The reason why you do that is because there's a Steve Reeves calculator to get the type of physique that he has. So fulfill the calculator and modify the physique to fit your goal. So for example, okay, relatively speaking, proportionally, Baki's forearms are bigger than his biceps. Reeves' biceps are bigger than his forearms. So when you do your measurements, what you should do is make the forearms bigger and the biceps smaller on your goal physique, on your goal measurements. So you just do that with every single muscle group, right? And that's it. And then, of course, you need to achieve a certain level of leanness. There's a aspect of genetics. For example, Baki's waist is very small. If you have very big hips and very big waist, you're not going to be able to achieve it. Unless you get like a freak, like a inhumanely large upper body. But inhumanely, keyword. So I'll leave it at that. You may realize, whoa, why haven't you gone over a lot of the exercises you do? Because truthfully, that's not that important. Okay? There's no gimmick exercise, although some are really good, like pullovers. There's no gimmick exercise, okay? Just see what works for you. Because if you look up best bicep exercises, you're going to get a bunch of different results. You can get like regular bicep curl, barbell. Well, that's not what worked best for me. What worked best for me is our incline bicep curls. Granted with a plate, but they work the best for me. Then the reverse curl for the brachialis, which I started doing recently, and I can see the results from it in terms of arm thickness. You have to see what works for you. Experiment. Test things out. So I'm going to end this video with a picture of my amazing physique. I'll have abs in a few weeks, or maybe in a month or two. I don't know. We'll see. Then I'm going to make a video about how to get abs. I'm going to focus specifically on the abs. It's going to get a bunch of views because it's going to have abs in the thumbnail. So I'll leave it at that. If you want to join this movement where we're building back Christian men, and part of this is fitness, if you want to join the movement, link in the description to the Discord. Check out my website. Give me your email so I can send you stuff, email you stuff. Follow my Instagram, like my posts so Instagram looks better. Subscribe for future videos. Those are my call to actions. See you in the next one.